I'm Isabel, and this is my first video. Hi, what's up? So, you want to start reading and you don't know how.
I got you, dude.
With the quarantine going on, a lot of people's New Year's resolution is to start reading. And then they don't know what else to do. It's like January 1st, you come up with the book and you pick a classic. Or it's an old English, it's using weird words. You don't know what historical period might be. You don't know anything about the author, the movement, and you just put it aside and you keep on watching your Netflix show. And we all been there. I thought I will come up with my 10 tips to read more books this year. This and any year, honestly. My first one would be to set yourself small, achievable goals, short term and long. Short term are gonna be daily. You want to read 10 minutes a day, 10 pages a day, one poem a day, that each day represents a new challenge for you. You will have to really evaluate yourself. How much time do you really put attention to something you're reading? How much time would you eventually give to this book that you're trying to read? Now, maybe this is not January 1st, maybe this is March 2020 and you're in quarantine in your house. So you don't really know what schedule you're gonna have for the next few months. You just know that you want to just stop being bored.
Doesn't matter.
The point of this is so you can keep yourself accountable. Your medium and long-term goals should look like, how many books do you want to read this month? How many books do you eventually want to read at the end of the year? And that might be something tricky to think about. My recommendation will be just set up to one book a month. It's 12 books a year. So if you say, well, I'm gonna read this 2020, I'm gonna read 12 books. If you hold yourself accountable for your small, achievable goals, you're totally gonna be okay, and you're gonna read more than that, I promise you. Number 2, set a routine. I touched on that on the previous point. Set yourself a routine that you can feel comfortable with, but it's also a little bit challenging. What I mean is that you're not gonna read 5 hours a day if you go to school and work and have a partner and family and friends and social life and other hobbies. Of course, you're not gonna be doing that, and you're gonna feel bad if you think that that's what your days are gonna look like. What you should do is that look at your day, think about if you go to school, if you go to class, look at dead times. When you are commuting to work, when you are like waiting on a line at the bank, grocery shopping, when you're driving, when you're in the car, when you're just laying on your couch without doing anything. Those are times that you can really take into your advantage to hit your 10 minutes a day or 10 pages a day goal. I would also recommend for you to try to wake up 10 minutes early or go to bed 10 minutes before. You should really dedicate that time for you to achieve your daily goal, and maybe go a little bit over if you feel comfortable with time. Setting a routine is very important because then it's gonna feel like something natural that you do. If you wake up every morning, let's say 7:30, and you read from 7:30 to 7:45 and then you hit a shower, then it's gonna become more, your body's gonna need it and be more used to it and ease into a routine. If you do it before bed, you can even relax your brain, pace yourself, merge yourself into an idea, a fiction, and like really set up yourself for a night. Okay, so step 3, now that you set up your routine and your goals and whatever, and you're super motivated, then the next question is, what are you gonna read, right? Well, to pick what you're gonna read, I would recommend yourself to think, what do you like watching? Do you like watching horror films? Do you like thrillers? Or are you more a romantic, a drama lover? Do you like movies based on real stories? Do you like fiction with magic and dwarves and dragons? What do you like watching? Based on what you like watching, you should really be thinking of what you enjoy. And reading should be an enjoyable activity. So you see how those kind of go along. Think about maybe if you already read another book in another time of your life that you really enjoyed and it took you by a surprise how much you enjoyed it. You can think about that, and there's no shame in picking a book not targeted to your age group. So if you are in your 30s and your 40s and you want to read young adult because that's what you liked before or the movies you enjoy,
just do it. There's no problem in that.
I would just kind of recommend not going directly into a classic book or a book too far away from modern times, just because of the issue of language and sentence structure and complexity that it might take you away from a reading. And even if you are picking a book that came out this year and it should be a genre that you enjoy, and you're not enjoying it, just stop reading it and pick another book. It's not for you to commit to just one book that you're clearly not enjoying just for you to hit the number of pages or the time that you expected to read, because then it's not something that you're gonna keep doing as you expect you will. Tip number 4, you might be living in isolation right now. You might be living in a pandemic right now with all the social distancing, but you still have social media and you still probably have internet if you're watching this video. So I would recommend for you to reach out. Look for videos about books and recommendations. Go to Instagram, follow book clubs, book recommendation, bookstagrams, book reviews. I'm very fond of Goodreads, for example, and this is not sponsored because this is my first video and no one knows who I am. Yeah. Just try to look for recommendations about stuff that you like, stuff that is new, stuff people are talking about, and see how you really how people engage with that book. Is it like book that changed my life or a book that everyone should read? Maybe you can think of yourself as, maybe I should add that to the list. I would totally recommend for you to join an in-person book club, but right now, don't go out of your house, please. In Spanish, El Librero de Valentina, it's top-notch, #1 book club that they pick a reading every month, and you can follow it with your own copy, and then at the end, they might do a video about it. In English, the Michelle Obama book club is really good. Reese Witherspoon's book club is also very active on Instagram, and they pick a variety of different books, focus on women. There's like a lot of book clubs out there online. Just go and look. Tip 5, now you have your book, you have your goals, your schedule, everything's great. The next question is, where are you gonna read, right? You don't have a place on your own. This might be kind of tricky, but with time, I feel like a lot of us readers can read anywhere at any time. So you'll get there, don't worry. But please try to look for a distraction-free zone. This is very important because when you are reading, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, you don't want those 5 minutes to be interrupted by your phone and your notification and all the Instagram notifications that you're getting because you're following all these accounts. I know it's difficult, but try to set up a minute of your day without any electronics. Let your family or roommates know, hey, this is gonna be my moment. Please don't talk to me for 10 minutes, for 30 minutes, for an hour, whatever you're gonna be dedicating your time to this activity. Please do so in a mindful state, because otherwise it's not gonna be useful to you. You're just gonna be frustrated because you're not getting what your book is trying to tell you. But I would just recommend for you to be cozy, be in a good temperature, whatever that makes you feel warm inside and it's gonna make you relax. But don't over relax because you're gonna fall asleep. You're gonna fall asleep.
Don't fall asleep.
Try not to, please. You probably will fall asleep. It's fine. It's fine. My tip number 6 is share what you're reading. After you go out of your distraction-free zone and you go into all your distractions, just talk to your mom about the book you're reading, your friend, your new friends on social media, from all those book clubs that you're following, all those beautiful pages with books in there. Just talk about it. Think after you read the book. Think about like, after you read the book, just think about it. Like, this character is really weird. I wonder what is gonna happen. Or this reminds me to this thing that I watched in a movie or that I read in this other book. And like, you can make those connections on your own. And that goes with my tip number 7. Go into book activities or search for book-related activities. I know that right now it's not very possible to do it in person, but you can also do it. But you can do it after this situation gets better. You can go into bookstores and libraries, book clubs, just anything that really revives
your need for reading or your love for reading or your interest.
Because if you pick reading as your activity for quarantine or for a new habit that you want to implement, it's because there's something that attracts you to this idea. Is it either because you want to learn something, because you want to say to people that you love reading, because you want to be part of a community, because you're bored, because of anything? Just try and seek for these spaces where you can talk about it, when you can buy books, when you can see other books. Okay, what could be... Okay, tip number 8. Tip number 8 is
Kind of scandalous.
in the reading communities. I don't know why, but please annotate your books. It's gonna help. Mark your book. If you're gonna read 20 pages, put a page marker every 20 pages, like the day. Divide chapters in smaller chapters if you need to. Mark your thoughts, even if it's just like a happy face, an LOL, oh this guy's a douche, or what a beautiful sentence, and underline it with a pencil, with a pen,
With a highlighter.
whatever you want. Just really do this, especially if you're starting as a reader. I would totally recommend this because it makes your reading richer, because you are going to be prepared when you want to talk about it, because you can flip back to your book and be like, oh my god, this page,
We need to talk about this.
and you can quote the part that make your heart ache. Take note.
Because you're gonna forget about it.
If it's a book that means something to you, it's either that you hate it or you love it, and you want to go back to it a couple of months later or a couple of years later, you're not gonna remember everything. But if you flip through it and you see your annotations, you're gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, I remember this. And for me, a book that is annotated is a book that is well read.
And well enjoyed or well destroyed.
Whatever your feelings towards the book is, or just like words you don't know, or characters that seem curious to you, anything that you want to mark, anything
Anything you wanna mark.
just do it. Number 9, if you're already marking your book, please take your book everywhere. I know that we set up about the routines and the schedule and 10 minutes before bed or 10 minutes early in the morning. You don't have to stay into those 10 minutes. If you go over the 10 minutes, that's great, that's progress. And the way you're gonna achieve that is if you take time from your other activities that you might want to cut back down, that is like social media or just wasting time procrastinating. Take your book with you everywhere, all the time. Doesn't matter if you don't think you're gonna have time to read it.
Just do it. It might surprise you.
I can't tell you how many times I've been out thinking that I won't need my book, and then I'm stuck in a big line, or I'm waiting for the bus, or something happens and I'm out there in the world without my book, and those 10, 20, even 30 minutes, an hour that I'm outside, I just spend them on my phone. I'm just looking through memes on Instagram, watching how other people read and I'm not reading. And then I come back home and I have all my other activities,
And then I'm overwhelmed.
just because I didn't take my book. My last tip is to use your resource, and not only to think that reading is from a book like this.
We all love physical books.
We love putting in our bookshelves, we love smelling them, we love writing on them, but it's just not as easy for you that you're gonna take your book everywhere with you to carry maybe a hard copy or something like this. Sometimes it can be very heavy for you if you are carrying other stuff. So I would recommend to you to not just stay with a physical copy. You can buy an ebook with whatever platform that you prefer. I usually use Amazon, so I have my books on my Kindle and my phone. I can read them anywhere in case I didn't bring my book with me. That's something that I started doing because I usually forget my book. So please just try to keep your options open to where to find literature.
And I've been thinking about making another video about places online that you can get ebooks that are not illegal.
Please just don't stay with the physical copy. You can open your horizons and look for ebooks. You can look for audiobooks. I don't think audiobooks are cheating, honestly. You can listen to them, especially if you're very into listening to podcasts and music and long YouTube videos and conversations. It might be an easier way for you to ease into reading if you start listening to an audiobook instead of just like grabbing a book and sitting there and moving the pages, and something that it might not be as appealing to you. So just try to keep your options open, and it doesn't have to be an expensive labor, because I know that some people are worried about that, like, oh, if I start reading, that's gonna be an extra thing that you have to spend your money in. But just keep in mind that you can go to a library. There's either like libraries online, so if you have your library card, you can connect it to these websites and you can see the books. There are millions of free books online, and usually the ebook price tends to be a little bit cheaper than the physical version of a book if it's a new version. Or you can go into a secondhand bookstore, buy local, and on top of supporting a local shop, you can buy a used copy for like $2. I think I bought this version of Mansfield Park, $2.99. So yeah, just don't give up. I believe in you. I believe in you. I know you're gonna be an amazing reader. You're gonna find amazing stories. Your life is gonna change. I know it.
I know it. I know that you don't know it yet.
But if you still need more advice or you need book recommendations or whatever, your girl Isabel is here. So yeah, leave me a comment if you have any questions about reading, about books, about who the hell am I? Why am I telling you all of this? Just whatever you want. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter and here on YouTube now. And in Goodreads, actually. I'm gonna start putting on my reviews on Goodreads for you to read and trash and to go back here and tell
me, Isabel, that book that you gave 5 stars to, I completely hate it and you don't know anything about books.
So I think that's all for me. Bye dudes. I think that's all I had to say for today. Thank you for watching. Bye.